Okay, so in the previous class, we discussed, I've given you the task to work on to retrieve the stock currency. Okay, and we discussed how to handle this dynamic selectors. Okay, we have done inspection of the element, and I have asked you to work on desktop actions also, which are similar to browser. Just the concept is same. Just we are using desktop applications instead of
Web application.
web. Okay. So so everyone, I hope have worked on desktop actions, and I've given one application and asked you to work on all those populate text, press button, set all those set drop down. Okay, check and radio buttons. So everything this it is the same, just desktop UI elements and here web UI elements. Okay. So if there are no questions, we will proceed to the next topic. Okay. So today we will see data tables. Okay. If you go to variables, here we have a section specific for data table. Okay. If you expand this, you can see we have several actions like create a new data table variable, insert row to the existing data table, delete row. Like this, we have several actions in data table. Okay. So what is a data table variable? So data table is nothing but it's the if the data is in tabular form, okay, then we call it as data table. Okay. If the data is in tabular form, okay, if it is a tabular data, then we have to use data table variable. Okay. And it's like a two-dimensional list. So list means we have several values in it. So multi-dimensional means two-dimensional means so we have different lines of lists. Okay, so that will again become combination of multi-dimensional lists become data table. Okay, so we will see one example. So how to create a data table, we will see. So each data table contains rows and columns. Okay, so row we have schema. Okay, schema is nothing but rows into columns. Rows, number of rows and number of columns. Four like 4 into 3, 2 into 3, 5 into 4, like that. Means 5 into 4 means 5 rows, 4 columns. 2 into 3 means 2 rows, 3 columns. Like that, schema is defined. Okay, so data table is nothing but it's combination of rows and columns. Okay,
Sandeep, what's the load it can take data table?
what
How
is the?
many rows max? How many rows max it can take?
It's there is no limit, but there might be some very I mean very high value. It might be
See, do
very
we
very high. Yeah.
use, I mean to say, do we use database if this won't support data table, won't support large number of volume?
No, it will support any large number data table.
Okay, in
It
Power
supports
Automate it will support.
lot of rows. It supports even
Okay.
database also supports, right? Same
Yeah,
like
that's so.
yeah,
Okay, done. Thanks.
yeah. Okay, so we will see one example how to create a data table. Okay, so we can create data table in two ways. One is using set variable. Okay. So set variable action you can take, and you can create a variable like products. Okay, this is my data table variable. And here, if I want to, I'm creating a data table variable. So within percentile, so this is the syntax you need to remember. Okay, suppose I have okay, its price. Okay, so this is what is the schema of this? So this is one row, okay, and this is another row.
Headers.
Okay, so in the first row we have two columns. Headers also we can provide. Yeah, I'll explain that how to provide. So uh, this is directly rows I have provided here. So to provide headers, so here you can start with upper, yeah, like this. And
First show without headers, like how it takes, then you can see headers.
yeah. Let me complete this also,
Okay.
because headers is important. Without headers, there is no value
Table.
to the data. Yeah.
Okay.
So TV, let's give it like product, comma, price, and the product price. Okay. So this symbol denotes the first row is column headers. Okay. If you don't provide this symbol, then it will consider all these rows as directly as a normal rows, not a column header. It doesn't identify it as an header also. Okay. So this is the column names. Okay. And here column headers, these are, and here this is the data in the data table, actual data. Okay. Now if I click on save, and use display message to display the values. Products data. Just we can give it anything meaningful. Okay, so here this is my data table. If I run this, okay, something I didn't provide it. Okay. So here, percentile.
The variable name is products only, right? So maybe
Yes,
in
yes.
display message you haven't given products. Can you show the display message? Or
1 second. I am checking the schema. Yeah, it's correct only. Column name. Yeah, within this we need to provide. So what is the input I have provided here? Okay, I didn't provide anything data table here. Okay, that's the
yes,
reason it's not
so
showing.
yeah,
Okay, so we have given it correctly, but I didn't provide the data table value. So now here you can see. So this is the data table values.
Rows.
Okay, rows.
Yeah, rows.
And here,
Rows
if
and
I open
columns.
here, it is showing. See, this is the column headers, and this is the data in it. Okay, so we can create a data table using set variable. Okay. And if you want to add headers, then you will provide this symbol. If you don't require any headers, just data, then you can just skip this. Okay. I will show without headers also for your understanding. Okay. Create data table with headers.
Is there any duplicate option directly
Yeah, we have that. We'll discuss.
instead of copy pasting everything?
Yeah. See here, I'm okay. So here I'm only, I'll remove this one. I'm directly entering the data. Okay. So it has only the data. And here you can see it is
Yeah.
taking column one, column two. If you want to specify your own column headers, then you can provide it using that symbol. And here it will by default identify it as some, I mean, default name it will give column one, column two, column three, like that.
Sandeep, if we have to change the header
Yeah.
after creating data table, then how do we perform this task? If we have to change in a execution, right? Now we have created data table. Now in
Yeah.
execution, I have to make a changes in the column header
No, so while creating itself, you can do it. While creating the data table only, you can do it. You cannot change it after
because sometimes what
the runtime.
happens if we are reading a huge Excel file and we don't know how many columns are there.
Yeah, then
So
there,
based on the index,
yeah.
I have to make the column head changes in the column header.
Okay,
So in
then you
that
can do
case,
one thing. So i- anyway, you will write end of the day, you will write this data table into one Excel file, right? Then you can
we are
use
reading,
this.
right? We are reading first.
Yes, first reading. Then you can use insert row, and
Okay.
you can not end of the table before index, and here you can choose 0. So it will add it at the first index, and here you
Okay.
can provide the values.
Uh,
Like,
we are not able to replace any value column in specific column index value means
yeah,
column heading.
we are adding, right? So
Not
you,
adding, we are replacing if we have to replace.
you can replace it also. We have find and replace also if you want to change it. We have
Okay.
this
Okay.
find or replace, but this works only on the data table values, not headers.
Okay.
Okay, still I think I will once see if there is any other option.
Mhm.
Huh?
Okay.
But
Okay.
as
Sure.
of now, we can create it at the initial place only. Whenever we are creating the data table, there itself you can provide the headers.
Can we
Okay.
create a data table with only new headers and merge all the data into the new one? Can we do like that?
Yeah, we can do that also. We can,
To
yeah,
change the column, if we want to
yes,
check two or three
yeah.
column names,
Yeah, Sagar, you
completely.
can work on like that. You can create a empty data
Mhm.
table with headers, and you
Okay.
can add the data to that headers. Yeah,
Okay.
nice. Yeah, Anil, we can do
Do
that.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So this is with headers, and this is without headers. And also we have another way of creating data table, that is using this action. Okay, so create new data table. We have create new data table action we have. Okay, so you can just drag and drop, and here you can see the schema is 0, 0 because still we don't have any data. And here you can click on edit, and you can see here by default we have column 1, column 2. You can rename it here. Okay, and here you can provide the data.
Okay. Mhm.
Same like this you can provide.
Click on plus ones.
Yeah, if you click on plus, it will add a row,
Okay.
and if you click on here, it will add a column.
Call. Okay, then.
Okay, and you can delete. Or if you want to delete, you can right click on that specific column and delete. Okay.
It is less typical.
Yeah. So here, just click on save. And here, if you want to rename this headers, then you can do that also. And here you can product price. Okay, you can see the schema, 2 rows, 2 columns.
Sandeep, in a practical scenario during live projects, are we going to create such data
Create
table, or are basically values coming from the different input sources?
Excel, different input sources, but sometimes we need to
So in
create
live,
reports,
so
right? Reports, our own business will ask, and at the end of the automation, we want a report. Then we will create our own data table and write it into Excel. So this, suppose this is the transaction. What are the details and whether it has failed, success? If it is failed, what is the exception? So like that, we will have different columns: exception, and the suppose some order number is there for that particular order number. Like that, we'll create our custom data table and we'll write it into Excel and we'll send it to the business on the it will give brief about the automation. So what are the, right, it's like a report, output report. So for each and every project, that's the best practice we use to send a report, so that they will look into the report and understand what are the orders that failed, what are the success ones, all that.
yeah.
Okay, so both we have. So we can create our own data table, or else we'll be getting input from various sources like Excel, SharePoint, all this we have. Okay, so here again we can use the same action. So same here, you can see. So like this, you can create data table in 2 different ways, using the set variable, and you can use create new data table also. If you don't remember this syntax, you can go with just this action. This is very simple, very easy way. You can just provide the values. Okay. Yeah. So next we have using set variable we have discussed, and using the actual action we have discussed. And we will see how to add in how to add a row to the existing data table. So now we already have this create new data table. We have created a data table now, and we have some values. Now, if you want to add some specific, if you want to add a specific row to the existing data table, then you can use, we have action called insert row at the end or before a specific index value. Okay. So I will use this action here. Select the data table. So if you want to add at the end of the data table, you can use this. If you want to add before a row index, suppose if you want to add at the first position, then you'll use row index 0. So row index starts with 0, right? If you use 0 here, it will add at the first line. If you provide 1, it will add at the second row. So yeah, based on our requirement, we can use. Okay. But for now,
We can,
yeah.
yeah, we can add 4, 5, or where the requirement is needed, we can put
Yeah,
that
we can
parameter.
add it. Yes. Okay. And the new value, you can provide it like percent here, like this, you can provide. Okay, suppose I want to add washing machine and its price. At the end, it will add. So if I run this, so initial data, and it will add one row. Here you can see TV, refrigerator, washing machine. If you open this variable, you can see here like this.
We can use for each loop also, right? Normally and add in the middle, right? Wherever we got our value. Can we do
You
that?
can try, Anil, but for each, I don't think it's required here. We are only adding one row, right? If you're
Yeah,
adding
one row.
multiple rows, then you can use for
Right.
each.
Okay. But
Okay.
my question just is normally we can use loops, right, in the data table also.
Yes,
Okay.
we can. Yeah. Okay, so here you can add it like this, or else we can also add using again set variable. There is another option. If you can remember this syntax, then you can go ahead like this also. So products data table. Okay, and the syntax would be, so just select the variable. Okay, next provide plus. Okay, and here you can add the values. So this is the syntax to add using set variable.
Generally, what is the best practice to go through the data table functions or through set variables?
See, when you if you remember this one, that is fine. If you don't remember also, it's fine. Both will take the same time, I think. But we have the different approaches, right? Okay, you can use this syntaxes and do it. Anything is fine. It doesn't affect any efficiency.
Mm,
Okay. So here now, if I run this, let's see if the data is adding the specific row. Yeah, here also it worked. Okay, so we have two ways again here. Create data table, whichever is comfortable, you can go ahead. Okay, so this is about adding, inserting a row into data table.
Can
Okay,
you show
next
filter? I don't know, you're going one by one.
next we have deleted data table row at the corresponding row index. So you can delete a row. Okay, you can delete a row at the specific index. You can provide the index and provide the data table, it will delete the row. Okay. So here you can just drag and drop this delete row action. Okay. And you can just select the products and the index you can provide. Suppose I want to delete the first item. So I'll provide 0 index. So in the resultant data table, you can see the first item is removed. If you go to the products, you can see TV is removed from here. Okay. So like this, we can.
Sandeep, if we have to delete based on the condition, means value of the table. So in that case,
So can you repeat?
if we have to delete, not
Yeah.
from not by index, by matching the values, like uh, the product amount is greater than 5,000 or something like that.
There is
In
a
that,
filter data
Yeah.
table.
Filter data table is there, and also we have if condition we can use and delete. You can loop through
okay.
the data table. All that we can do. Yeah.
Do
That is
we
again
have a
advanced one. Yeah.
do we have any link type, link query type over here?
No link queries here we don't have, but the syntax will be different here. That's it. We
Okay.
just need to use filter data table and get those rows and delete them.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have any mechanism to count the number of rows available in our data table?
Yes.
Or we
Yes.
have to?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have that. So that I'll explain now. So I'm just providing you the comment so that you'll understand. So what we are doing, delete row in data table. So you can provide comments like this. So whenever you are doing some specific step, you can add the step and do those steps. Okay, here I'm deleting the row, so I've provided like this. Here I'm inserting the row, so I'm provided like this. Like this you can. Okay, and here you want to see how to get the rows, right? So if I go to products here, okay, the variable, okay, while selecting the variable here, here you can see if you expand this one, you can get the rows count. Okay.
Okay, by default is empty columns. Okay.
Yeah. So products dot rows count. So you can see the number of rows, in the data table is, I'll just run it. See, the number of rows in the data table is 2 because we have deleted one row.
So
Okay.
can we get that in a variable, that number in a, like, initialize variable and add this as a
Yes.
result?
Yes. So you can use set variable and assign it, right?
Okay.
Rows
Same
count.
like rows
Ah.
count, data table dot rows count we should give.
Yes. Yes. Same.
Okay. Data table name, products dot rows count.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Sandeep, what are the other functions over there? Is empty and what else are there?
So we have,
Along with the row count, what are other functions?
yeah. So if you go here, we have columns count, we have head dot column headers row, and we also have column names, all this. Is empty, let's see what is this. If the product is empty, means data table is empty or like that. Let's try this once. False means it is not empty, right? It is having values. Let's suppose create a data table and see. Even I didn't try it. Let's see. We'll create empty data table. Okay.
Okay.
So here, let me create a new data table. The name is data table and let me run it from here. Okay, so I didn't, yeah.
It's
So
products.
this is true. Wait, why it is, yeah, this is true because we didn't, products is,
We
has
added
not
any
executed, right?
data into it.
Yeah,
Okay.
products has not, but again, we'll check the current data table which we created. Here, you can select like this. Yeah. True. Okay, so like that, you can see, you can explore the options. What are the different functions and you can use it.
I guess names is also there. Might be we can set from here.
Names,
Names option is also there. Column names.
if the data table
Header.
has any rows like
Yeah,
that.
column names. That option. Last one.
Okay, this one.
This is also count is there.
Data table dot column headers row dot column names dot
Names.
ah,
Instead of if we remove the count and we can assign the value, is it possible? Based on indexed.
there was no data.
Scanning.
Let
Okay.
me see if we can give some name, or else we will use the existing one. I think it will give the names. Okay, I ran it from here on. I need to run it from here. Yeah, product. It will give all the names.
Okay.
Okay, again, you
that-
can assign that value to a variable using set
Yeah.
variable and we can use them.
Mhm.
Okay. So say similarly, we can get the columns count. Okay, you can work on that. rows count I have shown you. You can work on columns count and other things. Okay.
Okay.
So
Sandeep, is there anything like comment out, comment in Power?
yes. So yeah, if
I
you want to disable, right click on this and disable action. So it will comment out.
Is there any shortcut? I know that right click one is working. So is there any shortcut for this one?
There is no shortcut here. If there is any shortcut, it will show here in the shortcut.
Okay.
Sandeep, if we delete those rows, so automatically these headers also going, right? Or
If you delete,
rows, I mean a data. If you, I mean you have
if you
deleted.
delete the data, no, column names will not go.
Okay.
Okay, so we discussed okay, so what is data table? It is a if data is in tabular form and it is a two-dimensional list. Okay. So here data table actions we have create new data table. We can create a new data table using this action. Okay. We can also use set variable to create a data table. Okay. So syntax to create a data table using set variable. Okay. So we can use okay column 1 column 2. Okay, next we can use
Sandeep, for these columns, there is no specification like text integer, right? You can add any
no,
value.
you can give that. You can give that using set variable.
Okay.
If you want to, yeah, you can use that using set variable. It will automatically detect. Okay, if you don't provide within this single quotes, it will consider if you give number, it will consider number, or else anything others, it will consider like that. We cannot
Okay.
specifically give.
Okay.
Okay, so like this, we can give.
Using this set variable also, we can use this aggregate function, that row count and column count.
Using set variable, yeah, we can use it, right? We can use set variable and we can assign it to a variable. That dot rows count. Data table dot rows count if you give, that value will be assigned to a variable. That is what you asked, or is that something else?
Yeah. That's we have the same syntax, right? For set variable, so that data table dot rows count or data table.
Same. It
dot-
is the same. It is the same. That we won't
Okay.
change. This is for without headers. We don't use this one. Just to remove this.
Hi Sandeep. While working on the projects, do we need to open the table and close the table at the end after doing the process?
Open, close, I didn't get.
No, while working on the projects, if you are working, you are opening the
Yeah.
one table and processing, reading the data and updating something, and at the end,
Yeah.
do we explicitly we
No.
have to open and
No,
close?
nothing as such. Opening and closing, nothing as such. You can just use these actions and work on the data tables. That's it. No opening, no closing. Open close is in Excel actions, not in data table. Launch Excel, close Excel, save Excel, like that we have it in Excel. This data table is just like storage, right? Data storage. So nothing as such. Okay.
Yeah, Sandeep, in interview, if they ask a question like where we save the data in Power Automate, what should we say?
We save it in the cloud. It
Entire
is in
thing
the
is
cloud. Entire
Okay.
thing is in the cloud.
Okay.
The cloud can be again on premises. The company premises also we can store it.
Okay.
On premises, cloud, like that it will be allowed. Okay, so syntax to create a data table, to add rows, to add a row using set variable. So we have data table variable plus we can use and we can add value. So like this, you can add to the existing data table. Okay.
Sandeep, the data table which we are creating, the accessibility of that data table is only to limited disk flow, right? There is no shared data table concept, right?
It is only limited to the desktop flow which we created. We can send it to other flows using arguments, using
Okay.
input and output variables, not arguments, input and output variables. You can share it. But if you are not doing anything input or output, it is within the desktop flow only.
Okay.
Okay, so
Like it will
next,
not be visible to the subflows, right? Like the other
yeah,
value.
it will be visible to subflows also.
So for a particular desktop flow, the visibility will be same like the variables. I mean the scope.
Yes.
Okay.
Insert row into data table.
Suppose, for example, this data table flow, I wanted to run on two different machine. Okay. Is it feasible? The two different machine is running both the data table stuff at the same time. For example, I have a scenario where I'm just creating some data table and writing that data into the Excel. Okay. Randomly, I'm calculating something and creating and importing that data to the Excel, and my two machines I'm running the same data table. So do we have any locking mechanism that one table is updating in data table, something is updating in data table, so other flow will wait for till the time the one flow is completing the data table operation, something like that?
No, we cannot talk right with the two flows.
Okay, only one
Nothing. It is
machine can.
only available in on that wherever you are running on that machine. The data will be present within that only. And if you are
If we are sharing any folder between two machines, if it is a
okay.
shared folder in that case.
In that case, anyway, data table cannot be accessible. If you are using some Excel file which is common, then if you are updating from the first machine, and it is shared with the second machine also. So till that point, whatever data is updated, it will take the second machine. But data table, we cannot store it, right, in some shared folder
No,
like
no.
that.
Data table data we are importing into Excel. Like that, I'm saying. I'm creating some
Then at
data.
that point, whatever data is updated, that data only
Okay.
will be available. Yeah.
So there is no locking, like one flow
No,
is
no, no.
working. Oh, okay.
I mean, you can
No,
create a copy and you can do that.
no,
Yeah.
Sandeep, I'll ask question again, the same one. So if we are doing a multi-bot architecture
Exactly.
where
Yeah.
two
I'm
bots are
about to
trying
come.
to access the same Excel, okay, when we
Okay.
start the process. So first bot should come and pick the data from the Excel. But at
Hmm.
that time, the second bot also triggered at the same time. So it will also try to get the data from the Excel. At that time, is there any locking mechanism? The first bot
Hmm.
logs the Excel. In Blue Prism, we have acquire log, release log concept, something like that.
Then
Anil,
do one thing,
Anil, the thing
create
is,
a copy and do this. Create a
no,
copy and save it somewhere.
Anil, the thing is, we need environment locking for Excel, not for data tables. Data tables are just
Yeah,
to
data
store.
table is separate, but the
Yeah.
Tripti is asking in a different way. That's why I said in Excel
See,
only.
for multi-bot
I'm just
architecture,
relating
we
that
can use
data table
queues.
concept with when
No,
if
no.
we are want to import something from data table, then how it will work.
So
Like
you're
that, I'm
using a
just
wrong phrase. You should say Excel, not data table. Data table is
Yeah.
within the process, it will be. There is no locking on it. Like, collections we have in Blue Prism, right? There won't be lock for collections like that. So data table is equal
Yeah.
to collection. Excel is Excel for every tool. So
But
tool,
the question is, do we have it must be working on multi-bot architecture, but at
yes,
more than one resource. At that time, like, is there any thing that because whenever two resources they try to open the same Excel
same
at
Excel.
the time, we get the error that at
Already
one of the
opened.
resource we get the already open error. So the question is, like, do we have any mechanism like the locking as we have in Blue Prism? To
No
avoid that.
locking. We have work queues, so we can read the Excel file and get the data into one work queues. We can store it in the cloud, and from that, two bots can fetch the data. If first bot is fetching the first one, second bot will fetch the second. That's how it works. That
And
again is advanced. We will talk about this
Yeah,
question
yeah,
at
yeah.
that point. If
okay.
we discuss here, everyone will be confused. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So to insert a row in data table, we use insert row into data table. It is specific index or end of data table. Okay, next we have delete. We can delete row from data table. Deletes the specific row from data table based on input index, input row index. Whichever index you have provided, it will delete that. Okay, next we have update data table. So we can update a data table row item on a definite column. Suppose in the data table, if you want to update a specific value, specific cell, okay, then we can use this update data table. Okay, we have update data table. Okay, let's create that. Yeah, in different one, update data table. So here, if suppose at the runtime, I want to update one of these values like price or any product name itself, if I want to update. Suppose if I want to update here, my requirement is to update the price of TV from 50,000 to 60,000. So in that case, we have action called update data table item. Okay, you can provide the data table products and column. Here you can provide column name or column index, whichever is comfortable. So let's see for price and here row. So TV is at zeroth row, right? So I'll provide 0. Index here you provide, and here you can provide index or name and the new value which you want to update. Okay, so here I want to provide like this. Okay, so the updated table will, okay, now updated table will have the new price. Okay, you can see the value is updated from 50,000 to 60,000. So update data table item at the time of runtime if you want to update any value. Okay. So this is about update data table.
You're doing all these actions directly giving the number, right? So if you have to loop and find the number index, like, where exactly we have to change, we have to loop it right anyway.
Yeah, you use for each.
Yeah,
We have
then
for each,
only
right?
if we got our
Uh,
value, there we can change, right?
Yeah, we can check the
Whatever we want.
condition using if condition. If it matches, you can change it.
Yeah, we have to take that like column name
Hmm.
and we have to change, right? That
Yes.
okay. If you can show one example of that with at
Yeah,
least
we
3
will
rows.
discuss. We'll discuss
Okay.
that in for each.
Okay.
We can update the value in the data table. In the data table using this action. Okay, and it is very important this also to get the number of rows in data table. We can use data table where dot rows count. Okay, similarly to get columns count, we can use columns. Okay, so here you can see it clearly here. If I just open this, here you can see columns count. See columns dot count. Okay, here columns dot count, not columns count directly. And let me check rows count, the syntax. Yeah, we have directly rows dot rows count, and for columns count we have uh, columns dot count. Okay, let me check once. What is the output we are getting here? Yeah, it is 2. So the syntax here is columns dot count, and for rows count dot rows count. That's it. Okay, so this is about update data table. Okay, next we have find or replace. Okay, so we can suppose we have a data table, and here if I want to replace, so let me create another one. Okay, suppose if I want to replace here TV with speakers. Suppose I want to update the product from TV to speakers. Then we can use update data table also. But here, if we want to have, if we have multiple multiple items, okay, multiple items where you want to update. Suppose let me create another one. Here in one action, I want to update all these values. Another TV is 60,000 for suppose like this. Then we have find or replace. So you can find the value which you want to replace. You can just find it, or else you can also find or and replace. Find means if wherever that specific row number or column number, that details will be, we will get it. If you want to get only the details where it is present, then we can use it in the, I mean, to use it further in the process, then we can use this variable. But if you want to also replace, so here the input data table is this one, find and replace. So all matches. So all matches means only the first, if you uncheck this, only it will get the first match, whichever it is found. Okay. So specify whether to find or replace text in all the matching cells found or the first matching cell only. If you select this, it will select, or it will search for all the values which you provide here. Text to find, suppose TV here. And find using a regular expression. This is advanced one. We can create some uh, advanced search and do it. And match case. Match case means it is case sensitive. So if you want to match the exact case, like small letters or capitals, if it is fine in both the cases, then we can uncheck this. But if you want only to get the exact case match, then you can check this. Okay. And match entire cell contents means it will check for all the specify whether to search for cells that contain just the specific text. Okay, only specific text if you are checking. Then we can uncheck or check this. And once it is found, if you want to replace it with some other item like speakers, here in this case I'm using this. And search by will be, so wherever it finds this TV, it will replace it with speakers. Okay, and search by everywhere or only on specific column. So we can search in the end in all the columns, or only specific column also we can search and provide the column name or index. So I'm giving it everywhere. And the output is data table matches, means wherever this TV is present, that uh, data will also will be you will get it in the data table matches. Now if I run this, the output will be, if you observe the products now, here you can see it will get see the TV is updated with speakers. Okay, and also the data table matches. So wherever it matches that specific row and column, it has we got it in the a specific another data table. So if you want this data to be used somewhere else, then you can use this variable. And if you don't want this, then also you can just uncheck this one. If you don't want this data table, this unnecessary this variable is for you, then you can uncheck like this also. If you want to use, you can use then also, or else you can just uncheck this. Like this we have all
Sandeep, here one question. Can we assign the same data table name to output variable,
here.
like product? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
usually we are
why?
not creating multiple variables, right? We are just keeping the one data.
No,
So if
but
we have,
see this data table matches is, it will get the variable. I mean, it will get the row number and column number. We don't
okay,
get the data. So if you
okay,
give the products, what will happen? We will lose the data table, right? Which we have created. The data, original data will get lost, and that will
hmm.
be replaced with some column numbers and row
Here we
numbers.
are just replacing, but when we are
But in
updating
the,
annually.
yeah, we can use that. We can updating anyway. It is not showing right
Hmm,
here.
hmm, hmm.
You can see here in update we don't have any variable. No, another variable is not getting created here. So it is updating directly to this the data table which we provide.
Okay. Okay. Hmm.
Okay, but even in some cases, if you want to use like that, then you can use it also, provided your output or input data table is not getting disturbed. Okay,
Hmm. Yeah.
so like that you can do it also. You can see here you can replace it to the variable which you want. Okay, currently
Yeah.
I don't require this, so I can disable this.
Sandeep,
Yeah.
if we have to change these values depending on a other table, So can we give the table name dot that value here by looping? Find text to find. After finding, replace with new value. Can we give like that? You hard
Which
code it,
data
right?
table?
Giving.
Ha
For
ha
example, in table one, I have a data. Okay, I looped it.
ha.
Okay. Then in table two, I have to change the value by matching it. The
Yeah, we can
table,
do it. We can do it
yeah,
that
I
way.
mean to say, instead of
Hmm.
hard coding it, can we give like table dot name or directly variable we
See,
can
but
give like
here, if you are looping in one data table, and here the input data table, you want to do it in another data table, second data table.
No, only the
Uh,
values can we give it
yeah, we can
from
give it.
other.
We can
Yeah,
give it.
this one.
Here using variables, we can do it, right? Dynamical also you can give.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is also one of the important data table action we have, find or replace. But mostly we use create new data table, insert row, delete, update also we use, and insert column. We can use insert column to insert a column at specific index or at the end. You can work on this. This is very simple, just like insert row. Okay. So here you can just see data table and at the end of the table or whatever index. Suppose you are creating a data table and you already have one data table and you want to add another column. Then you can use this insert column and provide the input data table. Okay, and it will add the new column. Okay, so insert column into data table. Find or replace. Find and or replace in data table. And we have delete insert column. Insert column into data table. Okay. And you can also work on delete column. So just provide the index or name to delete column in data table. These are very simple actions you can work. Okay, so delete column from data table. Provide the data table and you can delete by name or index, provide the input and it will delete it. Okay, simple, you can work on it. So yeah, here let me give you task, work on uh, insert column, delete column. Okay, and next we have delete empty rows. So if the data table have any empty rows, then it would delete those rows. Okay, delete empty rows. So wherever if we have some empty rows in the data table, suppose let me create some empty rows here. So what is our expectation? We should get only these 3 rows. So in this case, we can use delete empty rows. Just provide the data table, input data table. Okay. Now if I run this, see, we have only 3 rows and the empty rows are removed. Okay. So delete empty rows. Deletes the empty rows in a data table. Okay. Next, clear data table. Okay, delete duplicate rows. So if you are having any duplicate rows, delete duplicate rows. So here, suppose I have duplicate rows. So this is, let me create the duplicate row. So this row and this row is exactly the same, right? The first row and the last row. So here we are having duplicate rows. So if I use delete duplicate rows, provide the input, and let's look at the output if I run it. You can see it is keeping the first instance of the row as it is, but it is deleting the other instances, other duplicate instances from the data table. So delete duplicate rows, it will not delete both the rows. It will leave the first instance, first row, whichever is duplicate, and it will delete the other rows. Okay, so now in the output, you can see we don't have any duplicate rows in the data table. Okay, so delete duplicate rows from data table. So this is also comes handy. Okay, if you are having if you are getting some input data and client requests you to make sure the data is, the data which we are processing doesn't have duplicates. Then we can read the data from the Excel. The data will be in data table. Use this delete duplicate rows. So it will delete the duplicate rows and we can process the data after deleting the duplicate rows. Okay, so very important action. This is also delete duplicate rows. Delete duplicate rows from data table. Deletes the duplicate rows from data table, leaving the first instance of the row. Okay. So this is about delete duplicate rows. Next, we have clear data table. Okay. So clear data table means it will delete all the rows from the data table, keeping table headers unaffected. Okay. So it will clear only the data, and that if the data table have any headers, then it will have only the headers. Okay. So it will keep only the headers and the data will be deleted. So you can work on this clear data table. Okay. And sort data table also simple. You can sort the data table in ascending or descending order. You can just sort it by a column. Okay. So here you can see this is the data table and you can specify the column. Okay. So sorting will be done by column. So column name you can provide and it will be in ascending or descending order. So if you want to do that sorting on a data table, we can use this sort data table action. Okay. So ascending means small to large and descending means large to small. Okay. So simple activity, you can work on that. These two you can work on it, clear data table and sort data table. And clear data table, very simple, just one input you should give is data table. And it will clear all the data table contents, leaving the headers unaffected. Okay. So delete column and you need to work on clear data table, sort data table. Next, we have filter data table. So this is very important action. So you can create a rule here. Okay. So here like this, you can create multiple rules and we can filter the input data as per our requirement. Okay. So let me create a new sequence filter. So I'll create a variable employees. Okay. And here we will keep it as name, gender,
Salary.
huh. Okay. And here you can provide some names. Okay. Okay, like this, we can create some data. Okay.
Sandeep, can we attach in Excel, right, on it by searching or by attaching it, or it's just for the data table only? That is the separate part. The Excel one is.
Sorry. So you are saying why are you typing the data? We can use Excel, right? You are saying, right?
Yeah, we
Huh.
can we attach a Excel here, or that is a separate session
Yeah,
for that?
separates that we'll discuss in separate session. For now, I'm just explaining data table, right? So we'll in the next class we'll discuss about Excel only. So the output of Excel also is again data table. So to understand that, first you need to have knowledge on data table, right? So that's the reason I'm
Basics.
explaining this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I want to get only female. My requirement is to get only female data. Okay. So my input data table. So tell me what will be the rule I should provide here. Column name or index. So what is the
Column name
column name?
salary greater than
No, gender. Here I'm working with, I want only female employees.
so gender equals to female.
Yeah, gender here equal to female.
Sandeep, you're typing manually, right? Can we take it directly from the data table?
Take it directly from data table.
Yeah, can we choose that, like, variable we choose, right? You're directly,
No, here
typing gender,
we are
right?
having option only. We don't have option to choose.
Okay.
Here we don't have anywhere. We have variable, but here
Yeah,
we
yeah.
cannot
To
choose.
choose a
Okay.
column, no?
Huh.
Okay.
Okay. And the output will be, so what, females data, female employees, something like that. Okay. Click on save. And if I run this, so we should have only female employees in the resultant data table. You can see we have only female data. So like this, we can have, and suppose I want to have another condition like, and the uh, company should be, I mean, the company should be from company equals to Google. I want female employee who is working in the Google. Okay. So like this also we can you can do multiple filters. Okay, and here you can see
This
I
is
got
case
only
sensitive,
one.
right? The conditions we have.
Yeah, it is case sensitive. Yeah, it is case sensitive. Okay, like this we can give multiple conditions, or and or if I give or, what will happen? Tell me. Just look at the condition and tell me what will be the output.
All male employees will also be there working in Google. And
No, no,
means all basically
all females would be there.
All females. Okay, let's see.
no. The male employees working in Google will also be
Yes,
there.
male employees working in Google and all female employees.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can see because it is or condition. So like that we can use and condition or and you can give multiple conditions you can provide using filter data table. Okay, so for you the task is to get the based on salary you need to do the filter. Okay, task filter the data table based on salary. Okay, get employee details whose salary is less than 2 lakhs, like that. You can work on this. Okay, but basically the filter is so here you need to provide the data table and you can click on edit and you can provide here the conditions, and or you can choose and you can give n number of conditions here, and we have equal to, not equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, lot of things we have. Okay, we can filter data table is very important. Okay, try to practice this more. Okay, so this is about filter data table. Okay, try to work on this task, you'll understand how to deal with numbers. So I want you to do it by your own, and if you are facing any challenges we'll discuss. Okay, so filter data table is to filter the data table based on conditions. Okay, based on some rules we can filter the data table, filters the data table rows based on applied rules, and we can apply the rules here in this wizard. Okay, filters the data table based on applied rules. Okay, so this is about filter data table. Next we have merge data table, join data table. Okay, so let's see merge data table. So if you want to merge two data tables, two different data tables, if you want to add the data, then we go for merge data tables. Okay, let me create two data tables. Okay, this is one data table. Okay, and let me create another employees data. Now, if I want to delete this row, delete row, like this we can do. And here I'll add some other data. Okay. So this is another data table. Let me give it as employees 2. Now I want to merge this both data. So to merge again, there should be there is a condition. Okay, specifying the merging behavior in case their columns are different. If sometimes columns will be different, right? Okay. So first we will see what merge data table does. So first data table, second data table we need to provide. Employees 2. Merge mode, add extra columns. If columns are not matching exactly, then additional columns will be added. See, the merging behavior that will be applied when the tables doesn't have the same columns. Ignore extra columns. So ignore extra columns means in whichever data table. And now, okay, first we will see one by one. Add extra columns, we will see. So let me add a column here in the second one. Location.
Can we merge more than two tables?
No, we don't have option like that.
Okay.
But you can loop and you can merge it. You can use for each. Okay. So here we are see, we are merging the employees to data into the employees. Means the employees data will have the data from 1 and 2. Okay, here you can see location column was not there in the first one. So this we have used add, right? So while merging, we have chosen add extra columns. Okay, so that is the reason it has added the extra column that is present in the employees 2. If we use ignore extra column, then see what happens. So what will happen? It will ignore the column and whichever columns that match that comes into the employees. See, the additional column from the employees to data table is been ignored. Okay. Similarly, we have other option. That is if you want to throw some error on extra columns. So it will throw error here because there is extra column. See, the second data table has different columns than the first one. So all the requirements has been captured here. So add column, ignore extra column, error on extra columns. Okay, so merge data table also very, very important. If you want to merge multiple, uh, if you want to merge multiple data tables. Okay, you have data in one data table, you have data in another data table. If you want to combine both the data, in that case, go for merge data table. Very important activity, merge data table also. Okay.
Yeah, it is enhanced activity compared to other tools. It has good
Yes, yes.
options.
Merge data table. Merges two data tables. Okay, merges two data tables with different options like add, ignore, and error on additional columns.
Sandeep,
Yeah,
can you just show me okay, once you're done with Notepad, can you just show me the structure of our two tables which we merged?
yeah.
I just wanted to check on.
Name,
Okay, name,
gender,
gender,
company,
gender,
salary.
company, salary. Okay. And the other one?
We have one additional column apart from the existing columns, that is location.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, fine. Mhm.
clear on merge data table?
Sandeep,
Yeah,
one question here. Like in Excel, if the header is in the row line and we want to merge three different sheet in a one, like my name is Sombajit, I have three different things, but it only comes under my header. Are you getting my point? So I want to merge that three line in one.
Can you please repeat? I didn't get your question. Yeah,
Like
repeat it. Yeah.
we have the header in the row, like right. Can you show me that
Data table.
yeah, data table, any of the
Okay.
data.
Yeah.
Here name is in the column header.
Yeah. Okay.
I want name in the row. No, not in the column, in the row.
Here you want in the rows. You want this column.
Yes, yes.
Column
Name is
headers.
there. In that name, there are four names. James, uh,
But
Neil.
how can you
We can
add?
merge
Uh,
uh, four different line in one, right? In Excel by adding merge. Are you getting my point?
so you want name here in the data.
Yeah.
Name, gender,
Like,
company, salary. Instead of here, you want it in the 0th place, 0th index.
yes.
And then
Then I want that name in header is the one. That is the name. And I want the four column having one header. And the one header having the one, that is the merge one. Okay, let me share my screen. I hope uh, that will be more helpful.
yeah, but first let me complete the class and we'll discuss.
Okay. Please,
Huh?
please.
I think what you are saying is not achievable.
Yeah, that I hope
By
you
merging,
understand, Anchal, I think.
yes. From by merging the data tables, it is not possible.
Okay, you can try it now. Soumya. Sorry, Soumya or
Yeah, I'm Samir. Yeah,
yeah,
correct.
sorry. Yeah.
See, we
Okay.
have an option in other tool, like, get table headers. We can add that into a data table, then merge the table headers or data table to the other data table. So get the headers option if you have here, then we can do that. So we have to search for that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see if we can get headers from a data table, but I think that's
We can, right?
uh,
Data table, the functions that it
yeah.
shows as
That
column
function
headers.
is showing,
We
right?
can get that, yeah.
Yeah, you can try it, Soumya. You can get it and try to insert at the index. We have all the actions. Okay, see appropriate actions and try to achieve it. If not possible, we will discuss. Okay.
Hi,
Yeah.
Sandeep. I have one question.
Yeah.
Could you please tell me the scenario where we can use error on additional columns?
Yeah. So if the requirement is from the business is to merge data tables only if the all the columns are matching. And if there is any additional column, then we need to skip it, or we need to I mean, uh, not process. Then we can use this error, right? We can use error and we can just skip it. Okay. If the requirement is even though the headers, if the data table headers are not matching, there are additional in one or two. If we can ignore, then you can ignore. If we want to add the additional headers into the data, into our data, then we can add. So based upon that's on based on requirement, we will choose any one of this based on business requirements only. Okay. So in some
Yeah.
cases, business will say if the data is the data headers are not matching, we don't want to proceed to merge the data table. Right? We'll have those scenarios. So in that case, we will not do the merge.
Here I didn't get exactly the difference between ignore and error on. So both will come under skipping the particular
No.
scenario.
Ignore means it will ignore the additional. So in the merged data table, wherever the merge is happening, in the data table, the additional column will not be present. So it will ignore that column. It will process, it will do the merging, but it will ignore the additional column in column one, or I mean data table one or data table two. Let me show you. So here, if see, ignore extra columns. See what happens to the, so currently we have 4 in, I mean, we are having additional column only in second data table, employees 2. See what happens. Now this is the resultant, and you can see the additional column is being ignored here. It is not present in the resultant data table. Okay. And if we do the error, it will not even process, it will not even merge the data tables. It will directly throw error. See, it is not processing because the data is as it is. It's not processing at all. Got it?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think there is another session. Okay. So try to work on join data table. Okay. We will discuss the other two. Try to explore by yourself. So try to open and click on more info and see, try to search some example. Okay. Try to explore it. If you're not able to, then I'll definitely explain, but I will request you guys to explore it by yourself. Okay. Any more questions from anyone?
Yeah, just can I share my screen and show me what I actually wanted to tell
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
if it is what's possible or not?
Yeah. Okay. Let
Mm,
me make you host. Yeah, you can share your screen. Others who don't have any questions, they can work on the respective tasks and practice the session. Tomorrow we'll discuss if you are having any questions. Tomorrow we will be covering Excel and the remaining 3 activities. Okay? Yeah.
Please let me know, Sandeep, if my screen is visible.
Yeah, it is visible.
So I'm telling this one only. Like there is the only one header, but there are 4 columns. Here also it is vice versa, right? The only
So
one
what
row and
is 1, 2, 3, 4? Those are column headers?
yeah, those are just a random number.
Data,
Like
random
data.
data.
Yeah. This is the
Okay.
header.
Huh.
So I merge it because if I will not merge, then it will come under one. Like
Okay.
we need to
Huh.
create
Huh.
4, but sometimes now we require only one header and there are so
But this
many.
again comes under this, right? Excel one, right?
Yeah, so can we do it in data table? That is my question actually. Mm, mm, Is that visible there or not? Am I audible?
Yes, Soumya, you are. I think we lost Sandeep.
Anchal,
No idea.
Yes, Sandeep.
that log file is there within Power Automate, right? Log file option.
Yes, but I am really I can't find it now, but I'll look into it a little more and will let you know. Okay?
Yeah, I'll also check it. Thanks,
Yeah.
thanks
Well,
for the.
I also Anil pinged you because of that, you show some that the cloud thing to
What now?
append one array
One array
variable.
value. Yes, yes, yes.
Have you completed that? Have you got that? Because
Yes,
I am
yes, yes.
also facing that
I
issue.
got it. We'll connect later. We'll connect tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
I'll show
That's
you.
why I pinged you.
You
Yeah.
can message
I
me on
think.
WhatsApp, not here.
Yeah.
We can
I
connect.
know. I just pinged you because if you are free, I will connect with you post
Not
this call.
now.
Okay.
Not on
I
post
will
this
message
call.
you.
I'm not
Okay.
free. Tomorrow morning after 11 or something, call me. We can connect. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you. I can stop the recording now.